how do I find my place in life? A lot of times when I hear this question, it's a question of what am I supposed to be doing, because I'm doing a lot of things, but I don't think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going to share some of the things that I've learned in my walk in pursuit of wisdom and in pursuit of purpose. For the longest time, I've always had people around me. I've always been hearing and listening to a lot of voices that spoke to me and spoke into me. So one of the things I had to do was separate myself so that I could allow myself room to hear what God was saying about me outside of other people's opinions and all the loud voices and noises in the world. Separating myself was very important. So going into isolation, I know a lot of people fear going into isolation because of the loneliness that comes with it, because we're so used to having people around us. So by the time you're thinking of going into isolation, your mind is like, how am I going to be alone? How am I going to be just alone with my thoughts? How am I going to survive? How am I going to do this? But the reality is, until you master the art of being alone, there's so many things you won't be able to do, because you'll always be looking for someone to validate you, to affirm you, and to encourage you. And truth be told, sometimes in life, we don't have people who are clapping for us. We don't have people who are encouraging us. We don't have people who are vouching for us. We don't have people in our corner. So just learning to separate yourself and being alone with yourself and with God is very important. So the other thing which I did was seeking God. One thing I understood was, if I want to know what my eternal purpose is, I have to seek the one who created me. Because you see, at the end of the day, there's so many things I could be doing and they might seem to be working, and they could be working and they seem great and like I'm flourishing. But then again, I'm so far away from the will of God over my life. So having to take a step back and seek the face of God, for God to tell me, this is what I'm calling you to do. Yes, you can do that. You're good at that. But then again, this is not the season for that. So learning to be flexible with hearing God and what He's telling me to do in each and every season. The other thing was getting to a place of questioning my intention. Why am I doing what it is that I'm doing? Why am I getting into ministry? Why am I passionate about young people? Why am I speaking to young people? Why am I pursuing this dream that God has given to me? Why am I pursuing this path that God has set in front of me? And I had to be very intentional and very honest with my ambition and the why I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing. Because one thing I came to realize, if you're driven by money, it's easy for you to give up and to stop doing what you're called to do because there is no money. So I had to question, what is the driving force behind whatever that I'm doing? Am I passionate about it? Is it the purpose God has for me? Is it the calling over my life? Does it give me fulfillment, or am I just doing it because of doing it? So being very honest with myself in terms of what's the intention, what's driving your ambition, what is the end goal? And for me, of course, it's, more souls for the kingdom, and just to see a generation that is changed and a generation that comes back to God. To find your place again in life, you have to learn how to guard your heart. So the Bible tells us, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. If you pay attention to what you say passionately, it comes from a place within. It comes from what is in your heart. Learning to guard my heart. Your heart sometimes is conditioned by what you've allowed yourself to watch, to see, to listen to hear. The eyes, the gates, the ears, the gates. What we consume, what we allow, conditions our beliefs, and also directly or indirectly influences how we believe and why we believe whatever it is that we believe. Being intentional with the space of what I consume and what I take in, make sure that my atmospheres are conducive for the person I'm trying to become and for the person God is calling me to be. That was also very important. If you're feeling confused about your life, you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, I'll tell you this, find God. And as you're seeking God, He's going to align you. He's going to show you what you're supposed to be doing. At the end of the day, we'll all have to answer to Him. So He's going to ask us, I was calling you to do this, but you were doing this. You never asked me what I was asking you to do or what I was calling you to do. So I do hope all of us will get to live a wholesome, fulfilling, and purposeful life.